All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm just going to come to you in a wonderful, oh, my children, hold on. Yeah, Raymond going to give it to you. Did he leave? You're supposed to get it from him. He said he's going to get just, he's supposed to give it to you. Probably on that game he forgotten. He got it downstairs. I'm on live, but he's giving it to you. Okay. Oh my goodness. You know, sometimes I think in life, what will my family do without me? My immediate family. Uh, I really do. I say unto you, shalom, shalom, Sister Deborah, again, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely, lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, say again, I shall rest therein. I want to bring a topic, a message unto he that has an ear, let him hear. I want to kind of help you all out there that can hear, that understand spirit and truth, that do have somewhat of the light, even if it's a pin needle, you can still find your way. So I say unto you, this what I'm about to speak on and cover, it's going to help you understand a lot of things that you might not have understood at one time or another. But this, the way I'm going to bring it to you, it's going to help you a great deal to kind of balance a lot of things out. Because once you really know about what took place before the foundation of the world, that the Father had set many things into twos, it helps you to understand, okay, if it ain't this one, it gotta be this one. And that's in everything you do in life. You have to measure it. If it's not this one, it got to be this one. So I want to come to you in a message that's going to uh, inform you that the way the Father set it up from the flow up, and when I say from the flow up, He set it from heaven like it is. You see it on earth, and heavens should, I mean, on earth shall embrace it like it is in heaven. You see what I'm saying? So let me say that again. He set it up in heavens before the foundation of the world, like He wanted it on the earth. So when we say in our prayers, that's why it says like it is in heaven. Woo, Deborah, you in trouble. Oh, you are in trouble. Okay. So He wants you to understand heaven had already orchestrated. Heaven had already signed it in and signed it out. I was telling a individual earlier today that you can clown all day and night. You can continue doing everything you ever started, or you continue to do, because you find in your heart that, okay, this is the way I want to live this thing. This is the way I want to rumble. This is the way I want to go. You can go right ahead. Don't think that heavens is all right with what you are doing. He is. He's okay with it because He knows already the beginning to the end of Sister Deborah and each one of us, even the ant that is in the dirt and preparing for the winter, or the winter. Even them, the Father knows already. So to me, I think that there is a bigger, no, I don't think it's a bigger, I think it's just a wicked thing that's going on in the world today, and have been for quite some time. And they have pushed Him to the curb and make this thing only about them. But what Sister Deborah is going to do, I want to start off in the book of Genesis. I want to first and foremost start off in the book of Genesis, because I want to say something about the lamb. what I was reading, and I haven't gotten it all. The Holy Spirit, I think he wants me to just rest in his bosom on it and trust that it's okay to speak on it. But I believe even when it come down to the lamb, okay, I believe without getting the full clarity of it, because I haven't did a really deep study, but I believe the lamb or two. I believe in the beginning of the Bible, even in Torah, he kept telling them to sacrifice a lamb for their what? Their what? Sin offering. They were forever sacrificing lambs way back in the beginning. Even when he brought, he was going to Pharaoh and telling them to put sacrifice lambs, not sacrifice them, but kill them and take the blood and put it on the doorpost so death would pass them by. Lambs have been a savior for a long, long time. Okay. Their sacrifice and their blood represent a lot of things back in Torah time and back in the days. And even in the days on down the line, even coming out of the old into the new, lambs represent a lot of things, and it's not negative things. They always represent trying to play a offering of a burden sacrifice. Why? Because the things that they were doing back in Torah and back in the what they would call, I don't call it new or old, but the New Testament, as they say, a lot of things were done where lambs paid the price, paid the penalty for what they wanted to do and what they did do. So I look at the lamb today the same way. I look at the Son of Man being the blood sacrifice, the lamb that was slaughtered for the blood sacrifice. But on the other end, I keep seeing this other lamb, and this other lamb, I keep seeing him over there, but I see him capitalized. And I'm like saying, wait a minute, this lamb over here capitalized, and this is lowercase, and this is uppercase letters. And it's confusing me because I'm like saying, why is that? I believe both lambs were slaughtered to work the mission of the Father. One was for the blood sacrifice for you and our sins, being in the flesh. And I think there was a lamb, the lamb of spirit, which is the Son of Yah. He was sacrificed with the Son of Man for our sacrifice so we can be in the Lamb book of life. You get what I'm saying? And I believe that somewhere in there were two lambs sacrificed, because you remember when he said to the Son of Man had risen, and he said to Peter, do thou love me? Then Peter said, thou knowest all things. And he kept asking him that 3 times, and he kept telling him, feed my lamb, feed my sheep, feed my sheep. And then he said his lamb. You see what I'm saying? So to me, right there, you telling Peter to feed your sheep and your lamb, which is the same thing, but I'm just still saying, he's saying to Peter to feed them. Who was saying that? Yeshua. Okay, so I believe that the lamb itself represent a lot of things in our lives. I think it really do, along with the Son of Man. I believe we were written in the book based on the blood of the Son of Man, but I think the power of the Son of Yah is the one that wrote us in. Woo! You're gonna be in trouble. You're gonna be in trouble. I believe the Son of Yah, through his blood sacrifice, the Son of Man, through his blood sacrifice, is the blood that was written in the Lamb book of life by the power of the Father's right hand, which is the Son, the Son of Yah, which is the capital L-A-M-B. So I believe there was 2 lambs working one mission. One was the blood, and one was what was written in the Lamb book of life. You see, I don't think Yeshua, the Son, the Son of Man, wrote it into the Lamb book of life. I think that the Lamb that came down with the mission wrote us in the Lamb book of life. Because I remember Yeshua a woman asked him, can one of my sons, she had two sons. He asked him, can one sit on the left and one sit on the right? And what did he say? It is not given unto me to give that type of okay, or to say your son can sit on left. It is given to the Father. So I still believe that the lamb was slaughtered both ways into the one mission. Okay, one was the blood that was shed for our sin, and the other one was the power that helped the blood to be shed, to fall through, go back down to the body in the grave, raise that body back up. Don't tell me my Father didn't have nothing to do with that. Don't tell me his right hand power ain't connected to that. You see? So I say unto you, I think, I'm not sure, but I'm going to do a little study on it, and I'm going to come back and teach the lesson on the lambs. I think it was two lambs, but working one mission. So I believe that's what we have in the Lamb Book of Life. The Lamb Book of Life. You see that word life? Life. Hold up. Who's in Genesis? Chapter 2. Breathe the what? The breath of what? Life into Adam. It didn't say the Son of Man. It says the Son of Yah. You see what I'm saying? Not the Son of Yah. It says the Father breathed the breath of life. You get what I'm saying? So the Lamb Book of Life has to be detached to the Father, more so than it is the Son. But I think that it says, let's use me. I think the signature of my name, as the Father knows it, was in the book in Yeshua, the Son of Man's blood. That's what I think. But I have to do a study on that. So I'm going to back on up and back on out of that until I get the fullness of that. But I want to go into what the Father is putting on my heart to give you all. He wants you all to know, because somewhere out there, somebody is yearning for more. More than they heard, more than they can see, more than they understand, more than they can comprehend. They yearning to put a closure on their life to where they can just say, bam, I can get away from everything and I'm going to be all right. Well, I think there's many out there feeling that way. And Sister Deborah is going to give you something to kind of help you understand that a lot of our struggles and our hard times, our addictions and our negative ways and the way we are doing things, the way we're thinking, we just overworking ourselves. Because I'm going to tell you, as a living prophet and not a dead one, before the foundation of the world, all these things were already locked in. So it's almost like saying that if you're overworking yourself and overthinking yourself and trying to master this thing and trying to get this thing and make this thing the way you want to make it, it's out of your hands, baby. It is out of your hands. And once you can grip that in your spirit, nobody can bother you. Nobody can touch you. Why? Because you now know spirit and truth at its fullness. You see what I'm saying? And you're not around here going to and fro. You know how Satan was going to and fro and up and down, and the Father asked him, where are you going? What's your deal? He said, I'm going to and fro and up and down. You don't have to go to and fro and up and down. Okay? What Sister Deborah is going to give you today is kind of help you kind of understand that all that is vain and vax to be doing all of that. That's why I sat back and I listened to a couple of people yesterday and today, and I realized, I didn't realize, and let me go tell you the truth. The Spirit of the Most High said, Deborah, people ain't going to stop. These people going to continue. They love those subscribers. They love this devil platform. They love their subscribers and their likes and their praise and the honor they get. They will not turn away from the world and the way they feed into the world and cover the world and don't say a word about me. You see, he said, they're not going to stop. So I was like, why did he keep telling me that all day today? So maybe because I need to back up off the fact that don't go feeding this platform. Feed those who has the ear to hear. That's like he said earlier, somebody out there, Deborah, waiting to know how to just grip and run. And once you start running, you ain't gonna turn back. You might not even come back on Deborah's page. Why? Because the messages that I give you all is not for you to keep yearning what Sister Deborah is saying. It's for you to open up, awaken, okay, and say, all this overworking, All this sleepless night, tossing and turning, going to this page and this page, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, doing all this stuff, going to and fro, trying to get this thing, bring some closure or bring something to you that's going to make you feel that you are who you feel you are. Well, what I'm about to tell you now, the Father wants you to know that there's two. When he created in the heavens, he bagged that thing up with two. Okay? He bagged everything up into twos. Okay? And what that means is it's either one or the other. Say, for instance, you get in this scriptures and you start reading, you be trying to figure something out, and you really can't come to the conclusion of what you're reading or understanding of what you're reading. Then you can just look at it and you can say, wait a minute, like Sister Deborah was saying, if it's not this, it got to be this. Don't overwork yourself. Don't struggle to try to find the answer, because the answer is not hidden. It's plainly seen. Okay? So let's go. I want to start with Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. And when I finish, you're going to kind of understand exactly where this sister's coming from. But let's go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27, it reads, so Yah created man in his own image, and in the image of Yah created him. Male and female created them. He broke them down to twos and brought them into one by them. He wants you to know I created the both, them. But he broke them down. He, male and female, created them both. Okay? Now you go to Genesis chapter 5 and verse 2. In Genesis chapter 5, listen to this. In Genesis chapter 5 and verse 2, it says, male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. So what they have not taught you all is one is with the other. The other is with the one, the first one. The woman was founded in man. Okay? And man was founded in woman. Why? Because he created them when he spoke it. Even though he created him by himself, remember? As you saw it, he created man. The confusion I was having was, why are you talking this in Genesis chapter 1 as them, male and female, you created them, and you brought he and her as one in them. Same way he did in Genesis chapter 5 and verse 2. Male and female created him, he, them. Now watch this here. And blessed them and called their name, one name, Adam. We missed that. We missed it because we are so busy listening to so many voices to where we can't see nor hear spirit and truth. So if woman was founded in man, okay, and man was founded in woman, he's letting you know I created them, Deborah. So all this stuff about he created him first and her second, that's not irrelevant. It's I said at the beginning, I created them. So it was when I what? Spoke it. That's the order it should have upheld even today. So there were two he created. That's why it was also easy for them to become one. Because when he spoke it, he brought them into them as one. You get in verse 5, Genesis verse 5 and verse 2, male and female created he them. Again, he created them. And then what he said, and blessed them. Where's the secret? Where's the mystery? It's when he said, and he called their name Adam, in the day when they were created. Now, what that leads this prophet to understand is the Roman Catholic went in there and totally separated. So it would look as if man is the upper over woman. You see? That's what it appeared to be. Because when he tells me if they missed Genesis 1 and 2, they missed the whole book. So if you miss the ideal of him saying he created him and her, I created them. Then you get into Genesis 5, it says the same thing. Who changed it in between that time? You see, looked like something was moved. But what the Father wants me to let you know is, even in that small little thing, there's nothing really serious, but it is in him, because he wanted us to understand when he created them together. She was in him and he was in her. They were created as them, not him, separate from her, not her, separate from him. So reason why I say that is because as he was showing me, he was still talking in verse 28 to them. Listen to this. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And Yah blessed them. Hold up. You blessed them, but only one was created first before it became them. That's the key. Now watch this here. Watch how he's blessing them as one. In Genesis chapter 1 and verse 28, and Yah blessed them, and Yah said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Subdue it. Who are you talking to? Deborah. Tell them I am, not him. You see how they took that out? They took it out of his order and have lived it all these thousands of years in the way that those who came in to switch this book orchestrated so it can only be about him and her. Is like unto a cattle, or she is considered what would you say, a property. It doesn't match Genesis 1 and 2 though, you guys. It doesn't match. Now watch this here. As he continued to talk here, he says, be and replenish the earth, subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Let me tell y'all something. He didn't intend for that to be only men. He was just sharing with me how they divided the creation, period, and everything he said two into one. They broke those two up and brought them into the world, not into the world, into the ways of flesh, to be totally separate out of the order in which I created them. So as he went on, he said here, listen to this here, in verse 29, watch this here. And Yah said, behold, I have given you herbs bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree is which is the fruit of the trees, yielding seed, to you it shall be for meat. Now he's talking to all this here stuff, all this he said in here. He's not talking to man, he's talking to them. You see what I'm saying? He's talking to them. He's telling them how they're going to be working this thing together. This thing, it's to be worked together, all of it. So somewhere somebody then tampered with the way Genesis 1 and 2 says it, in a way that they didn't tap it into 2. Because if you really look at it, let's finish. So I just wanted to show you how he wanted me to let you all know there were 2, male and female, but in him, he called it one when he created it. But there were 2, meaning that heavens had to have known that when he created Adam, he had already created Eve. Eve was in him and he was in Eve. That's why women bring forth the nation, and the nation rests within the man. So to bring forth the nation, and the nation rests within the man's sperm, then that's telling you what? One can't work without the other. They need each other. And that's the way he created it. Somewhere, somebody then went in and did it flesh way. And it is the flesh of men. Because if you really think of it, He even in verse 5, it says he called them Adam. That's why it makes you make a lot of sense why he was looking in the garden. He was calling Adam. Even though he was calling Adam, he knew what he had invested in Adam was both. So that's why he didn't say Adam and Eve. He knew I created them. So when I call one, I'm calling the both of them. You see? So it shows you how a lot of things during this time in the beginning, when the sin hadn't hit, things had already somewhere along the line, someone been tampering. But unless you have the Holy Spirit, will you understand it? Because the Holy Spirit was the one that shall come to what? Teach you what? All things. Now, if he thought that he couldn't teach you all things, or that you already been taught all things, or that you knew all things, what would be the purpose for him coming to say, I teach you all things? Look like he would say, I will teach you some things. No, that's not what he's saying. I will teach you all things. Why? Because he wants you to understand. Flesh going to teach you flesh, their wisdom, their knowledge, their understanding. But when I come to spirit. And that's what Sister Deborah is coming to do tonight. She's figuring the difference in the way he or too. You could be taught of the flesh by the mouth of men and women, or you could be taught by the Holy Spirit. That's two different teachers. So let's go. So when he get to Genesis 29, Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9, here he go again. He said in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. Verse 9 says, out of the ground made Yah to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. Now, look what he's about to say this in the midst. The tree of life, that's one. And also in the midst, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, two trees. Now, wait a minute, Father. You in the heavens, okay? Your whole plan was to put two in the midst. Are they alike? Do they have something in common? No. They have nothing in common, nor are they alike. But he put two there. Now, why would he put two if he didn't know that when I sat up, Deborah, and I had the books? He said he got two different books. I have the book of life, and I have the books of the lake of hell. Two books. Where are they at? In heaven. So if there's two books, two separate directions in heaven, then there have to be two separate directions on earth. Praise the mighty Yah. You see, it's going right back trying to tell you, don't nobody run it but my Most High God. That's why he always throughout this whole book said, I'm the beginning and the end, and how you like me now. And we still ain't gripped it. So if heaven's already had a lamb book of life, what did it say about the lamb? The lamb was slaughtered before the foundation of the world. You see, the lamb didn't become the lambs on the earth, you guys. They were the lamb in the heaven. And those that were slaughtered and those that fall into the book of life were already what? Written in the Lamb book of life. What about those that are written in the books of the lake of hell? They already written before heaven and earth was even created. Were these things already set up from the floor? You see? So therefore, here he come telling me in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. He said, do you see that? I said, yeah, you got two. He said, what do I have? You have the tree of life and you got the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You got two. See, they represent two. You see, you guys, he's dealing with twos. He ain't dealing with one. He's dealing with twos. Now, who are we on this earth? Stinky flesh, because you should smell yourself or smell somebody that passed away and don't have his breath of life in 3 days, see what they smell like. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying to you, why do we as flesh think that we can rule his order that's in the spirit? That's why Sister Deborah preferred in my spirit to be about spirit and truth. I know I ain't true because I ain't perfect. I'm going to tell you I know it all. But I tell you what, catch me on the side where I want to represent my Most High Yah. I'll shoot your tail down in spirit and truth. Every chance I get, because that's the only thing left for Sister Deborah. Ain't nothing on this earth worth striving and running this race for outside of the Most High Yah. And that's what we need to learn. More of him. Give him more than what we feel that we need for us to understand something. It ain't never been about us. Even though they want to make us, oh, we the children. Baby, what were you in the heavens before you were Israel? Are you in the Lamb book of life, or are you in the books to the lake of hell? Come on now. Don't let no fool tell you in that Lamb book of life, because he did that upright, just. He ain't putting everybody that says we the children. He chose you like he chose everything. He chose you like he chose everything from the heaven. Everything the Most High chose, he chose it from the heavens in him. What do you mean, Deborah? When he decided to make man and woman, heavens wanted that. Okay? When he decided to make Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, heavens had already had that wrote up and wrote out. Everything was already in the bosom of the Father, the way he, for his name's sake, for his will, for his purpose. I don't know what his flesh get on this earth rumbling. And I said to the Father, if they were like this back then, I see exactly why you destroyed a lot of them and still going to destroy a lot. I can see it makes so much sense to an individual who put all of her all in the one that created all things, and not on no flesh, not even myself on this earth. So what he said is, he said, Deborah, you went into Genesis chapter 2 and verse 9. You just told them that there's two trees. Go into Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7. No, not 17. Here he go again. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 17. But of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eat it thereof, thou shalt surely die. Not only did he give them two trees, he even told you one would cause you to die. Tell me you don't see no righteous in that. Tell me you don't see no just in that. And in spite of him telling them, they still went to the tree that they would die after they take of it. Why? Because heaven had them in the books to the lake of hell already. That's why there's two trees, said the Most High. So get that. How about that? See, this will keep pastors, bishops, priests, evangelists, prophets, prophetess, seers, Maureen, watchmen, any of them of having any power. Because now you will know they ain't got no power to tell nobody nothing. Because ain't nothing hidden. Everything's open. It's just, what do you want to hear? And what ear are you hearing from? What do you want to see? And what eye are you trying to see out of? Everything is clearly seen. So here it is. He's telling them, if you take of this, you will surely die. What they say. So what? We don't want no part of you, no way. We ain't predestined for you. We predestined for this end. And they went strictly there without any second thought of anything. And they went as one. Not as woman said this and she was doing it. That's whoever went in this book and thought that somebody like me wouldn't come along in spirit and truth and a student of the Ruach HaKodesh, taught by the Most High God, would know. That's why he said, if it were so, but it's not, Deborah, tell him. If it were so, but it's not, Deborah, so you tell him. If it were so, it will fool the very elect. But because if it was so, based on me writing it in the heavens that they could be fooled, they will be fooled. But if it was so, and it is not, it would fool the very elect. Heaven's already had it wrote in and wrote out that his elects are not coming down here with his gift to be fooled. See, that's another saying. People keep using it. I've heard people, throughout time using that, and they fail to see the spirit in it. They don't see the spirit realm of it. If it was, if it was, if it were, letting you tell you it wasn't. He just said if it was. And that's how we miss it. We miss everything because we heard the voices of the flesh over the voices of the spirit. There go the two. You see what I'm saying? So here he's showing me that there's two trees. And each tree represents something. That's another two. One, Deborah, give you life eternal. Two, give you death. So we're dealing with life and death. Life and death. There go two. One tree gives you death. And the other tree gives you what? Life. There go two. You see that? Everything he orchestrated from the heavens, even though he put that tree in the midst, he gave you a warning that guess what? I put it there. How about that? How about that? What you gonna say now? I put both of them there. How you like me now? Why did I put it? Because heaven already know. I put them in the book of life or the book of the lake of hell. I got the book of life. Don't I have to have something down yonder on the earth that they could lead to the book of hell? The knowledge of good and evil. That's why they went, because they were predestined, ordained. That was their mission, to come down and take of it. And it wasn't a female thing being tempted. It was a male and a female. That's why he came looking for him, because she is founded in him and he is founded in her. And when it was all said and done, he asked him what they did, and guess what he did? He turned around and gave to Satan, the serpent, that old Satan, the serpent. He gave the first charge to him. Why? Because he figured, okay, you done won those. They're yours. But let me tell you, I still got two. He pulled up to the serpent, that serpent, Satan. He pulled up and told him, now look, you might have got Adam and Eve, but you know I'm good at that too. What was the two? Anybody in the live chat? The two was what? The woman's seed and the serpent's seed was going to have what? Intimacy between them. And what was that intimacy between them? Do anybody in the live chat knows what is that intimacy between the woman's seed and the serpent seed? He put a what? He called it between. So we know there was a great division between the two. So there go to two. What was it? The serpent seed and the woman seed. There go to two. But he put something between them. And I had no idea the power of what he put between them. The power in what he put between them was hatred. One ain't gonna love the other, and the other ain't gonna love the other. That means they ain't gonna have no way of being equal. It's no way the woman seed and the serpent seed will come together and be equal. Then he pulled up with a way, two ways that's going to keep them hating each other. Intimacy means hate, hatred in Greek and Hebrew. That's the opposite. They are going to hate each other. The serpent seed and the woman seed. The woman seed is the spiritual seed. The serpent seed is Satan's seed. And the Father told Satan, I'm going to put intimacy between the both. Why? Because there's going to be a gulf of hatred. The woman seed ain't going to like you. And you ain't going to like this woman seed. You even heard where, who was that? Job hated wicked and evil and iniquity and sin. Job hated that. And I think David, no, not David, somebody else, he said they ensured sin or wicked and evil. They didn't like it, y'all. That's the gulf he put between them. For us to understand it, it is called hatred. And in the midst of their hatred, he put two more things. What did he do? One is going to get both of them going to get bruised. If you go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, it says, where is it at? Genesis chapter 3 and 15, it says, and I will put enmity, which is hatred, between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. So we know the two is seeds. Now, the seeds first, before we get to the seed, we got to get to who is enmity, that's going to be, which is hatred. The spirit of Yah's seed, the spirit of Yah versus the spirit of Satan. Enmity. Now it's coming into the seed. Those that come after the spirit of Yah, and those that come after the serpent of Satan, which is their seeds. Okay, so now he's talking to two. He said, I'm going to put it between your seed. It's already between me and you, bro. So I'm going to let you know it's already between me and you. So since you got Adam and Eve, don't think, I ain't going to have mine. Okay. And I put something between there, a level of hatred that neither one of those going to have anything to do with them. That leads back to why so much hate on the earth. For those that are of the spirit. It makes so much sense. Because now the seeds, he got two seeds. He's got seed of the serpent, which is Satan, and then he got the seed of his spirit, of his. And then he said, I'm going to put something else there. Deborah, tell them. He said he's going to bruise something of both of them. One head is going to be bruised and one heel is going to be bruised. So the spiritual side, heel is going to be bruised. And the Satan side, head is going to be bruised. But both of them are going to be what? Two different bruises. One is going to be the heel and one is going to be the what? The head. Which one would you rather be? Which one would you rather get bruised on this earth? Anytime I'll take the heel. Because you can bruise the head and you can have a head injury, memory loss, and you can lose movement. You can lose everything when your head is bruised. So I would take the side of the spirit of Yah, heal, because that heel can heal. And after that heal, that your heel heals, guess what? The Father said he has ordered your steps in him. So you still going to be stepping. Because he said he orders your step in you, in your life. So therefore, you still going to know how to step, even with a bruised heel that shall heal. But a serpent's head, oh no, he ain't going to come after you no more. I tell you that. He might send somebody else after you, another or something else, but he ain't coming after you after you done bruised his head. The head can lose everything being bruised. So there go two. Everything is set up in tools. Do y'all, anybody, give me a thumbs up if you're understanding the tools. How everything he's orchestrated has been in tools. And what it does is it helps you to master what actually is going on in the earth. Just break it down into tools and you'll be all right. Just break that thing down in tools and you'll be all right. If it's not this one, it got to be done. So what did he did? He did here. He said, go on, Deborah. He said, now go to Cain and Abel. He said, when you come down to Cain, Deborah, now this is how he said it. When they come down to Cain, Cain was a tiller of the ground. A tiller of the ground. What is the ground? Anybody knows? Thank you for your thumbs up. I appreciate that. What is the ground? Cain was a tiller of the ground. That was his labor. That's what he did. Okay. But the ground in which Adam came from was flesh. So Cain was of the flesh. So now we're going into twos. One is of the flesh and one is of the spirit. Still dealing with the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. You see what I'm saying? So I appreciate the thumbs up. Now you see here, Cain now is the tilter. Now watch this here. Of the ground. Who were created out of the ground, out of the dust? Adam. Okay, so Cain was a tilter of the ground. It lead me to understand in the spirit realm, he was of the flesh. But Abel was a keeper of the sheep. And when you look up the keeper of the sheep, you hear the Son of Man speaking on the sheep or the righteous one. So Cain, that's why he was a murderer, because he was of the flesh. He was what? A seed of Satan. He was of the flesh. So now we have a tilter of the ground that was a flesh of the flesh. And then we had Abel, who was the keeper of the sheep, which was the righteous one. Sheep is always going to fall in the line of righteous. Okay? So you see, Cain was of the flesh. And Abel was of the spirit. Okay? So that's why he that was of the flesh took the life of he that of the spirit. Now, why did he do that? Because what was it that the Father said he put in between them? Hatred. So Cain used his first gift, hatred. Males are teaching these men to kill these women. These men didn't come out like this here, y'all. These before the pandemic and even after it, right after it, that's when they started doing it, because all they had was these platforms. And this is where you had a lot of your brothers teaching these men to go, and they don't even understand every mark of the minds of the men that does stuff like that. The Father already know, where did it start? Where did it come from? What did what was in him that sparked that fire? And it'll return back to all those who practice Hebrew Israelites. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It'll fall right back. They done heard somebody in this here movement say something about women-ist. Just imagine if they spoke positive. Same thing with women. They're out here having no morals, no integrity, no respect for themselves. And they're taking out their children. And now these men are taking out their children. The one thing that's blowing my mind is they taking out their mothers and their fathers. But one thing else I see in the land, I see more Caucasian than I do see the house of Israel. I see more Caucasian taking out their families. Husband taking out wife, wife taking out husband, husband taking out mother and daddy, wife taking out mother and daddy, wife killing all kids. The Gentiles and the heathens, it is so high. It's way above Israel. Way above what they doing. I say I go 10 times more. And I'm seeing it in the land. And I'm going to tell you the truth. Never have I seen that. 62 years, never have I seen it like I see it today. And it's not because it didn't exist. It's because who day it is today. It is that day that Satan, wicked and evil, were created for the day that we are in today. So now he tells me, take him now, Deborah, to dark and light. Dark and light are as the serpent seed and Yah's seed, the woman seed, which is the spiritual seed. The darkness is Satan's seed, and the light represent the spiritual seed. They'll go to two. Everything is set up in twos. This way, you're going to be able to tell who you are, to be honest. How you've been, your life and how you've been walking. All you have to do is divide it into the twos. Okay, so here you go to Proverbs 4. Let me go to Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 19. Let's see what it's saying here. Proverbs chapter 4. But he really did something when he told me, Deborah, it's going to get worse and worse. They're not going to turn from what they're saying. They're not going to go in and speak of me and give me glory, give me honor. These people have their platform. They've gone to the world. You can't tell them nothing. Now in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 19, it reads, the way of wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumbled. See, the way of wicked is darkness. I know y'all might not have understood why Sister Deborah said we in the days of darkness. We in the midnight hour. I was trying to usher you all in before he brought a lawlessness and the kindle the fire. I knew the judgment was here, but this stuff is here now. He have assured me that this is the day that he had created for the day of wicked and evil, evil and wicked. So the darkness that I was talking about was always present, but he has caused now lawlessness and all wicked and evil to come from the principality in high places. Now they're down on the earth. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Now go to John chapter 8. Now, this is another thing, going back to try to get y'all to understand. That's that too. Darkness and light. These things I'm telling you, calling them tools, is from the heaven. Letting you know the way the Father has orchestrated the earth is like unto that which is in heaven. Not the earth can't orchestrate nothing like it is in the heaven. Like it is that's on the earth, like it is in heaven. So that's just a kind of not take the power and let the earth rule it like the earth think they're doing. They think they're ruling everything, especially these people with these YouTubers and these Facebook. They think they're ruling this earth. They really do, and I don't even feel sad for them. No, I'm just waiting because I did something that I should not have done, and I didn't ask for it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. All I know it, I thought it, and bam, the next day, that person was gone. Not dead, but something. But I'm like, so you just told me what you was going to do, and I just was ignoring you. And when it happened, I'm like, oh man, I thought that yesterday. How could that be? Because Deborah, just because things ain't happened like you prophesied or like I told you, don't mean that it won't. And I was like, but oh my goodness, that was quick though. It was a quickie. It was one day, and the next day, bam, I heard it all on YouTube, and I'm like, wait a minute, but I'm just showing you that you think you just run your mouth. If you only knew the power that rests in your voice and your words that I have put into thee, that I have talked you and turmoil with you and chastised you and discipline you and correct you and taught you, it's going to go vain and vexed and void. No, baby. You're going to live to see it. So here in John chapter 8 and verse 12, in John chapter 8 and verse 12, it says, then Yeshua again unto them spoke, spoke, Yeshua again, it ain't spoke, it spank, Yeshua again unto them saying, I am the light of the world. You see what I'm saying, y'all? So you see the light is different. Let me finish. He that follow me shall not walk in darkness, okay, but shall have the light of life. See, that light leads to life. That's why I was telling you, how you gonna, wait a minute, hold up, bro. If you got even a pin needle, at least it'll help you, show you to the gate to life. Even a pin needle how he pulled up. He pulled up. Yeshua came in and he said, I am the light of the world. He that follow me shall not walk in what? Darkness, but shall walk in the light of light. That's why Sister Deborah be saying spirit and truth, and what else? The light. Come on now, y'all. Y'all got to be understanding the glory of the Creator one. You see, and here Yeshua is speaking on the two. He's speaking on both of them. He's telling you if it's the light, then it cannot be the darkness. If it's the darkness, then it cannot be the light. But I am the light of the world. He that walks in my light don't move in darkness. Because my light leads to the narrow gate, to life, everlasting. That's what light is. But darkness leads to what? The lake of hell. See the tools? This whole book, you guys, has been orchestrated in the tools. The whole book. Everything is in tools. Okay? So I wanted to do, and then he says, Matthew chapter 22 and verse 14. He's now talking about the called and the chosen. Matthew chapter 22 and verse 14. He said, now he wants you to understand that there are twos when it come down to the called and the chosen. There go two. There's two, y'all. And let's see what he said. Matthew 22 and verse 14. Matthew 22 and verse 14. And it reads, for many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, but few are chosen. Don't that sound like the broad gate and the narrow gate? Very few shall find the narrow gate, and many shall go into the broad gate. They matching. That's I'm going back to telling y'all. He said everything lines up in twos. Now here in Matthew chapter 22 and verse 14, for many are called, but few are chosen. There go the twos. Let's see what he says in Matthew chapter 20 verse 16. In Matthew chapter 20 verse 16. Now listen to this. So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. For many are called, but few are chosen. There go the twos. There go the twos. You remember the wedding feast where many were called to the invitation to be invited, and they didn't come? None of them. So he says, go out on the highways and byways, and those that would come, let them come. You see? So this here, right here, is showing you that even in the twos, you can find the called and the chosen. Okay? Now, even in Matthew 19 and verse 30. Matthew 19 and verse 30, he wants you to understand this. First and last. The twos. First and last. The twos. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 30, it reads, but many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. He even talking about the twos in the first and the last in the first. He lining them up in twos. These are ways that are spirit, y'all, and they are truth. It leads you on in the way of the narrow gate and get you out of the broad gate. Why? Because it's showing you the broad gate. You can't follow everybody in the direction they're going in, because everybody's going in there. And they're going in because it sounds good to the flesh. They're more concerned about the natural eyes and the natural ear. Okay, so now he tells me the first and the last. Then he began to tell me, tell them, Deborah, about the broad gate and the narrow. Is that not two? There's two more. There we go. Two gates. The broad gate and the narrow gate. And then he broke it down so you will know. Just like he broke the two trees in the midst of the garden. He broke them down. One is to life and one is to death. So he's saying here it's the same way the gates are, Deborah. One leads to the lake of fire and the other one leads to life. What is it they don't get? See, you don't, it's not a rocket science situation where that's our flesh making it so hard and so misunderstood. And the Father said, it's finished. It's nothing else he gonna come down here to do. He gonna send his servant. He done sent his servant. You to get it from them. I ain't got time for you. I'm not gonna. That's it. It's over. It's finished. Okay. So then he talked to me about the narrow gate and the broad. It's dead, just like the beginning. Remember the beginning in Genesis? The narrow. Matter of fact, Genesis 2. And then both times. The tree of life and the tree of death. What is it that's so hard to understand? 2 trees were put down there in the beginning. To the gates. In the heavens, he rolled up 2 gates. And he told you what it was. This one over here is one that leads to destruction. And it takes you straight to hell. This one over here, it's narrow and it's hard to find, but it leads you to life. What are we doing, y'all? Why are we making this thing so hard to understand? He broke this thing down as low as it can possibly go. Okay, now watch this here. Then he began to tell me about the wolves and the lamb. No, the wolves and the sheep. The wolves and the sheep. And he was telling me today, the wolves always dressing in sheep clothing. Because they try to mimic me when they're on these devil platforms by using things that represent me and thinking they can go in here and teach this as if it is me. Those are people with sheep clothing, but they are wolves. There go to 2. Sheep's dress. I mean, they looking like sheep, but they are wolves, said the Most High Yah. And that's how they are on Facebook and YouTube. They more so marvel off. They don't marvel. This is what he said to me now. Tell them that they don't marvel off of you understanding or you getting to know who he is or you caring about his grace and mercy pouring out on you and how you feel about how he been toward you and how he cared for you and what he's done for you and how he created you and how he ordered your step and how he led you from this place to that place. He said they don't care. They're not caught up in that. They're caught up in mastering their subscribers and likes. So he's saying they got on sheep clothing, but they are wolves. And I try to explain that to y'all. I think in the last 2 years, I've been telling y'all, they'll wrap their head up and all tied up and trying to look the role. Stop clowning. Sister Deborah ain't got time for that. Because it's not my outer man that the Father is caught up in. It's my inner man. Is he abiding therein? Is he all that he can be in you? No, it ain't about the inner man. They want to role play it on the outer man. So what he said, they want to dress in the sheep clothing. But truly, they are wolves. There go 2. Everything the Father orchestrated has always been in 2s. Okay? Then he said, when you pull up, heavens has already orchestrated as the Son of Man and the Son of Yah. I knew I couldn't send the Son of Man down because I sent too many prophets down. I sent too many men of Yah down. And they always murdered them or beat them to death or done something. But now, the lamb already been slaughtered from the beginning. I got to make sure that it fulfill what I already wrote in the books. So now, according for the books, I already put the blood in the books. Everybody's name is written under the blood of the Son of Man through the power of the Son of God. It's in the book. All right. So let me get on down here to help the Son of Man out. Oh yeah, I got to get down there. No, I ain't gonna come in my and who I am, the Father, the beginning to the end. I'm gonna come with my power. I'm gonna come with my word. And yeah, I'm gonna bring my spirit a little something down there to help him out. So when you see the Son of Man, and the Son of Man said, me and my Father is one, he's right. We won in this mission. Come on, let's fight. You see? You're gonna lose. Come on. Son of Yah, the Son of Man on the left, and the Son of Yah on the right, you bound to lose and go to hell at the same time while you getting your tail whooped. You down in the lake of hell. You see, this is how heaven has already orchestrated this stuff, y'all. The Son of Man and the Son of Yah, two, working what? One mission. Like it was in the beginning. I created him and her. I created them in one mission. And when one sinned, the both of them sinned. Why? Because I called them as them, and not just him, and not just her. See, over your head. Because they rewrote this thing to make it look like woman been messing up since the beginning of time. And the Father will send them straight to hell with they lie. Okay? So he wanted you to know that. Now, this is what he was telling me. He said, now, the example of the Son of Man, trying to get them to understand that there is, when he pick up his, you know how this is the day everybody waiting for. And they getting it confused, y'all. They ain't even letting, show you how ignorant they are on YouTube. They're not allowing my Father's word to be fulfilled in the order of the way he orchestrated. They all up in his plan. And his plan is going to be fulfilled with their lies or whatever. It's still going to be fulfilled. But it won't be fulfilled by the way that they are orchestrating their lives. See, a lot of people, y'all, even those who say that they are Christians, and I don't bother them, but even though they say they Jehovah's Witness, a Muslim, everybody knows the truth a little bit more than many of the house of Israel, when they should be the number one that knows. But because they have been the only one that been against the Creator. See, y'all didn't know that, did you? The way that they have been against the Creator. Don't forget, when he put us over here, he did that with Abraham thousands of years ago. He told him, this is what I'm going to do. And if he said he's going to do it, he's going to do it. So what? He had to do it and had to make sure that the heathens and Gentiles do us the way that he saw fit. That's what we didn't understand. We don't understand that because it's called a curse. And then he lined the curse up the way he said he wanted it. And at the end of the curse, we were destroyed. Why is it they didn't get it? He said because they didn't want it. Like they don't want nothing. But it's still locked in twos. And it's all going to come to pass. So he was saying to me, Yeshua pulled up and he told them in Matthew's and Luke and in John and Mark that when I come to collect mines, I'm coming with the angels. And I'm coming to collect on the four corners. That's the last time, y'all. That's it. And then the judgment. But what Yeshua said, he said, look here, Deborah, pull this one up. I said, okay. He said, show them where I collect from the four corners, the goats with the S and the sheep, singular. Because the sheep is in Yah, and we are one in him. As I've been telling them my whole mission. Me and my Father is one. And they didn't get it. We are one in the mission, in the purpose and the will of the Father. But yet, I couldn't have done it without the Father. You see? So here he says, tell them about Matthew's 25 and verse 32 to 34, where he shows you that there are the sheep. Remember who was the sheep in the beginning? Who? Abel. He was the what? The tilter of the what? The sheep. It didn't say sheeps. It said sheep. Meaning he was the what? And what did Yeshua say about the sheep when he collected them? They are the righteous one that he put on the right-hand side. And the goats were put on the left-hand side. And he took the righteous sheep and brought them before the throne of the Most High Yah and told them, Heaven was prepared for you. Let's go there. Matthew 25 and 32. Matthew 25 and 32. Now this here, they'll let that swing. Going back to the tubes. We still hooked up in the tubes. Watch how this go over the heads. Matthew 25. Is it 25? Let me see. Yeah, Matthew 25 and verse 32 to 34. Watch this here. 32. It reads, Matthew 25 and 32. And before him shall be gathered all nations. You see that, y'all? Do you see where it says only the house of Israel? Do y'all? It's two, y'all. It's not just going to be the nation of Israel, the house of Israel, and the tribe of Judah. It's going to be other nations in this time. They're going to reign in heaven as well as in hell. So what they're teaching us today is to throw us off from the spirit of the whole matter, to where we can't even weigh who we are in righteousness, in the light, because we so bombarded with what they're trying to manipulate you to believe, like even this thing that's happening over here in Israel. I was speaking to you all about that. How are we going to say who they are and what they are when we're doing just as worse as a people, as a nation? But thank the Most High that he had to come, Sister Deborah, to teach her, Deborah, it's the spiritual Israel. I said, I knew it was something when you said 12,000. That wasn't very many. He said, that's because it's the spiritual Israel I'm coming from. That's the small remnant. They didn't know that. They didn't know those gates in heaven was for the spiritual Israel. It is not for the chaos mindset that's on these devil platforms teaching these people. If there's 100 people in this world that are Hebrew Israelite, let's say today, let's just say today, if there's 100, out of the 100, 2 people out of the whole 100 know who they are as far as the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. Let's say just deal with the tribe of Judah. You probably got, if you got 2 people. The others don't care less, don't know nothing, don't care, don't what. And these Negro Judah still running around here getting all these other tribes. And these other tribes ain't thinking about them. And they chart. Do that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense for them to be caught up in it. They too far caught up in trying to make themselves look so good when y'all said you ain't looking good, bro. You ain't looking good. You ain't never looked good. I just let you by. I just done this for you. I done this and I done this and I done this. And I killed your butt too throughout the way. Go to Genesis to Revelation. See how many times. I'm sure he didn't kill about 300 million. I'm telling you, he didn't kill a lot of the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. He don't play. But see, they ain't going to teach y'all that. But what Sister Deborah is trying to get you all to understand, leave those people alone. Let me ask this question to anybody in the live chat. If the Father left word that over there is the synagogue of Satan, let me say it again. If he said over there is the synagogue of Satan, why would you take your life today to build it on what they doing over there when they already were in hell, right? Come on now, somebody talk to me. They already signed up in hell already. They already in the fire, in the lake of hell. So why is Sister Deborah going to get on here and keep mooring people down regarding the fake synagogue, the fake so-called Israel that's called Revelation? Who can speak louder than that? Who can speak louder than Father? Nobody, not on this earth. Nobody, not even in the heaven. He spoke louder than words when he told you and I in Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. He told you and I in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 9. It is the synagogue of Satan. So do that mean Sister Deborah go over there and keep on feeding you all that they did this, they did this, they did this, they doing this, they took this. No. Those are people who just like they are. They work on the side of the serpent seed. Because anytime you rather teach people about the synagogue of Satan than my most high God, you are sicker than sick. and don't do it. This is what he was explaining to me. Deborah, they won't change. It's just who they are from where? Heaven. Now you try to keep remembering that. Now you're talking about them tools. Remember, heaven got them locked in and locked out. They can't teach no more than what they teach it, because they are a part of the synagogue of Satan. They are the seed of Satan. When they feel that you have to talk about what already been spoken, don't you know that, throughout my life, I had a lot of people used to say, well, Miss Deborah, don't you think that the Bible is the white man book? When if the Bible is the white man book, guess what he just chopped up into pieces? The fake Jews over in Israel, when he called them the synagogue of Satan. He already told you they are going to the lake of hell. When he said synagogue of Satan, he's telling you right there. They're going to reside in hell. So why are you caught up in what they're doing? Be about trying to get yours over here to know who he is and how good and wonderful and perfect and great he is. Try to get them to understand how he has been there pouring out mercy and grace throughout time, and still pouring out mercy and grace, and how he chose a people, and yet the people all the time that he had chosen them in the heaven, they've been denying him on the earth. How about that? You see? Oh no, they got to go. What are they going for? Anybody in the live chat? Anybody in the live chat? What happened? Why are they doing that? They need subscribers and likes. You all don't understand. You all their bread and butter. And that's all they need. And they get so excited when they can bring the world into your mindset and get you to dance in it. Because it's like, oh, I can't wait till the next album Satan put out. Why ain't you preparing these people's spirit? Because your spirit ain't prepared, you ain't gonna prepare theirs. That's why. Okay, so he was sharing with me, and that was what verse was that? Matthew's chapter, what was we at? The sheep and the goat. Matthew's chapter 25, verse 32 and 34. Listen to what Yeshua said. He said, and before him shall be gathered all nations. That cuts out of all this races against white and black and every other race, y'all. This here tells you right here. Y'all letting you know, Yeshua letting you straight up. It's going to be all nations they're going to pour from. There are going to be goats that's going to be from the house of Israel. And there's going to be goats that's going to be from the heathens. There's going to be goats that's going to be from the Gentiles. And there's going to be there's going to be sheep in the house of Israel. There's going to be sheep in the house of the Gentiles, the nations of the Gentiles. So all this here racist war, people are getting caught up in down here. We this. You got to go before the throne of the Most High and y'all say, okay, you did this. I want to let you know I'm with you. I salute you for doing what you know. That's the best thing. You to know all things. You are all things. Thank you. He did what he did for us to just be here, because he could have killed us like he should have. Tell the truth and shame the devil. But let me explain. In Matthew chapter 25 and verse 32, he's sitting here saying, in all nations he shall separate, not sheep, because we are one in Yeshua and the Father, from the goats. Now watch this here. Now verse 33, and he shall set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. There go two. What is that? Left and right. We dealing with it. What else are we dealing with? Sheep and goats. There go two. Sheep and goats. Right and left. There go two. He's sending the right ones, which is the sheep, one direction, and he's sending the goats on the left in another direction. Okay. Now watch this here. Verse 4. Then shall the king say unto them on the right hand, come ye, blessed of the Father, blessed of my Father. Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. See, y'all don't get it. This is what they will not teach y'all. Heaven's already assigned everything to be. While we're trying to make it be the way we want people to believe that it is, or to see that it is, or to serve him like it is, we don't even understand. Heaven is already, Yeshua is sitting here telling us. He's not telling this to the Father. He's told this to the disciples on down to us. Look, Heaven already knows who's who and what's what. Before the foundation of the world, he prepared this for you that's on the righteous end. That's why there was 2 trees in the garden. That's why he put intimacy between the serpent seed and the woman's seed. That's why Cain was one and Abel was another. On down. It started in the beginning. Why? Because heaven had it already locked in and locked out. And it was what Yeshua told Satan. It is written. That means not even I can go up there to change what the Father has already written. And that's what we have to have, that mindset that, okay, I can't change. You know how they say, except the things you cannot change. That carries a lot of meaning. Because if you look at it like in twos, then you begin to see things that, wait a minute, I can't change that. That is what it is. Let me move on another direction or go another way. You know what I'm saying? Always, even in danger, don't go the way that seems like it's going to be a way of danger. In any situation, if you got some beef with somebody or you got hard times on your job or in your family, don't go the way that they are going. Go the opposite way. You see, that's how the tools pull up. Okay, so what he's saying is, Yeshua is sitting here telling, he left word with the apostles, with us here, because we're reading it, but yet we don't take it. He's telling you there's tools. Okay, when they finish on your pages, your Instagram, your Twitter, ever, it still ain't gonna be the way they said. It's gonna be the way I said it. It's tools. I already told y'all. So they want to make you think it's about a white and black thing? Tell them sit their tails down somewhere. This ain't about white and black. This is in tools. This is about the goats and the sheep. This is about heaven eternal life in heaven to the lake of fire. That's what it's really about, y'all. Everything that you see on this earth, that's what it's about. Lake of fire or eternal heaven. All the way to the end. That's what it's all about. Only those two. When it's all said and done. So you think if you wrap your head, if you submit to your husband, if you wear long dresses, if you eat what it said, that it's going to get you into the Lamb Book of Life. All of that stuff I just named are for your flesh. How about working on your spirit? How about working on your inner man? That you can't dress up. You can't wrap your head in the spirit. You can't eat the food on the outside for what the spirit. Try going in the spirit realm. That's what they won't teach y'all, because that's too. They're teaching you how to live out the flesh and forsake the spirit, when you should be trying to live out the spirit so it can tame the flesh and you can go on live this thing. Because when you stand before the Most High Yah, He's going to pull your tail up. You're going to ascend the sea. Every place going to give up their dead. And they're going to come up in the spirit realm. They ain't coming up in flesh. And when they stand before the Most High Yah, He's going to judge their spirit. How He's going to judge their spirit? Did you let your flesh rule your spirit? Or did your spirit rule your flesh? That's it. It's one or the other. And if you let your flesh rule your spirit, the lake of fire is waiting for you. But if you let your spirit rule your flesh, guess what? The Ruach going to be living within. Because see, once that spirit, your spirit is getting that flesh in control. Because see, the flesh knows, hey, I don't like you. I don't care for you. I know I'm you and you me. I don't give a rat's behind if you go to hell. I want you to do did. But then your spirit bump up and say, no, you sit your tail down and shut your ugly mouth. And then all of a sudden the Father said, oh, I like that. You think I can abide in you and me? How about that? How about that? You see what I'm saying? That's how easy and simple it is. You learn to let that flesh know it don't have no dominion that's great in you. And you in them, him. And He'll teach you all things from that end. And we are not being taught all things because we ain't learned that there's tools. Either you're going to let your flesh rule your spirit, or you're going to let your spirit rule your flesh. And when your spirit starts to rule your flesh, guess what? Father said, get out of my way. I'm coming in. Woo, praise the Lord. I'm coming in. That's why he said, study to show yourself. I want your flesh to study. I want your flesh to study and rightly divide that word. And when you start, your flesh starts studying, hey, here I come. I'm coming. I'm coming. But what people do, they want their flesh to rule, to run it. They want to call their administrative position. They want to call all their gifts or who they are in the flesh. And no spirit in them leading them, not even their own. They got their flesh in control over their spirit. And their spirit won't even tell them when they're right or wrong. Because they is so afraid. No, the flesh said I can. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, the flesh said I can. Oh, the flesh said I need to submit to my husband. So I can, in my spirit, submit to Yah or seek ye the kingdom first. Because my flesh said I got to submit to my husband. You right on. Anytime you fall under that category of those tools, guess what? Your mission is already 100 to the lake of hell. For sure, without a doubt. You have to seek the Father first and foremost. And when you seek him, guess what? He ain't got room for your flesh. He want to come and abide in your spirit to get your flesh under the subjection. And if a man for a woman, don't look for no woman until your spirit is under, your flesh is under your spirit subjection to your spirit. Because the only place y'all say he's willing to deal with you is in your spirit, not in your flesh. So it ain't no such thing as you got to be submissive to a man and you ain't been submissive to the spirit that you have within you. All that is chaos. You go back and read even Jacob and see all that chaos was in that house. All that sexual stuff was going on. Women throwing any woman into him, he going and having them because his wife gave him. Oh, I had my wife, I had my sister, I had his mama, just anybody. That is not of Yah. That is how he allowed it to rumble. Let me ask you a question. He sat down and put man that woman was in the midst of the garden, even though he knew that the tree of knowledge and good that will cause death to roll into sin. Yeah, I didn't care. I put them down there because heaven had already, I had rolled it up already in the heaven the way I wanted it to go on the earth. So I put that down. Somebody got something to say? I put the tree of knowledge and good and evil there. You got something to say? Pull up with it. I did that. Who gonna tell me what to do with what is mine? I am the potter of the clay. I cause one to honor and one to dishonor. Who are you in your nasty flesh to tell my Father what he is to do or what is he? And that's another two. He is the potter of the clay. He said, I cause one to honor and one to dishonor. You to tell me what to do with mine. You see, loss with the cause and without. This thing is by twos, y'all. Everything. So what did he say? He said, okay, now we want to go to knowledge and knowledge. And this is, no, he wants you to go to born of the flesh or born of the spirit. This is the way the Christians and the Hebrew Israelite will bring it to you. Once you accept Yeshua HaMashiach and follow the commandments and follow the status, then you are born again. No. Going back to what I was telling you, heaven's already orchestrated everything. You are either in the Lamb Book of Life or in the books of the lake of hell. Tell me how you gonna get up in the heavens and change all that because you want to role play it down here your way. I don't get it. Now, born of the flesh is exactly what I just gave you an example. He had to check Satan as the serpent in the garden. You're going to have your seed, I'm going to have mine. He pulled up and told you, I created man. I put him a tree. I created two trees, one to life and one to death. How your life been now? So what makes it hard for you to understand that born of the flesh or born of the spirit? You either one or the other. And it don't have anything to do with if you accept Yeshua HaMashiach. It has to do with heaven has ready, orchestrated you to be. Born of the flesh is that example I just gave you. You want to do the things of the flesh and let the flesh rule. Or are you going to let your spirit rule? The only thing that the Father said I can abide in, I ain't coming to abide in your nasty flesh. Now, I come in your spirit, but I ain't coming in your flesh. He's sitting here letting you know you're a flesh, kick soul to the curb. You're a flesh and you're a spirit. I only come in the spirit. But if you are never letting your spirit live, then I can't come in and abide. And you living out your flesh. Know that this flesh has chosen your direction for you. Now you know which way you're going when you get to heaven, to the lake of fire. Because your flesh has already identified it to you as the way of you going. That's how simple it is, you all. All this other stuff that people trying to tell you caught up in, even when they get to talking about Torah, sit your Torah tails down. Torah ain't never followed nothing righteous. So all that stuff is for somebody who don't know better. Okay? Now, he said again, so he that is born of the flesh is of the flesh. He that is born of the spirit is of the spirit. What do he mean? Listen to this, y'all. What does he mean when he said they are enemies and they war against each other? What do he mean when he says that? Why is the flesh warring against the spirit? They both belong to you, so why are they warring against each other? Because Genesis, the beginning, told you. The flesh likes to do the way things of the serpent seed, and the spirit does the will of the Father. The spirit, your own spirit, does good things and desire to do good things and desire to do right. But your flesh is your worst enemy. It's not going to let you do nothing right. It's not going to let you think right. It's not going to let you look right, act right, and conduct anything right. That's why you got to get it under the subjection to your spirit, because your spirit is willing, but your flesh, I don't want to part in that. Okay, so he's saying that if you're born of the flesh, you're going to live and die of the flesh. But if you're born of the spirit, even though you are in the flesh and you're born of the spirit that is the woman's seed in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15 is what he was talking about. See, he's trying to let you all understand this. Deborah's here is running her mouth, is what he's saying. But what she just nailed, which she don't even know, that she nailed the beginning to the end, because she started in Genesis, and she gonna wrap you all the way to Revelation. It is finished. I have always placed it in twos. Which one are you? Which one you gonna walk in? Okay, so he wants you to know, if you're born of the spirit, it's because he sent you down here to have a spirit, to have dominion over your flesh, and it allow him to come abide in you. So that's when he says born of the spirit. He know everybody's born flesh. He knows that. He ain't talking about that. He ain't talking about that. He's talking about how your eternal life gonna rumble. That's really what he's talking about, because everybody born of the flesh. We know we flesh, but we spirit too. So he's saying either you're born, you're going to live this life out in your flesh, which is your own worst enemy. It's your own flesh. He never tell you one scripture that Satan is your worst enemy. Y'all never know that, did you? They won't teach that, won't preach it, they won't even reveal that to you. He never told you Satan was your worst enemy, but he have told you you are your own worst enemy, because your flesh is against the spirit of who you are that God wants to abide in. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. If you live out your flesh, know that hell is waiting for you. Okay. Now he tells me about knowledge and knowledge. Okay, see, I did not know there was two knowledge, but he said there's two knowledge founded in two ways. He said, in the end days, knowledge shall increase. Okay, but he says, along with that knowledge increasing is spiritual knowledge. That's the knowledge is going to increase. It's not the natural knowledge that you've been taught all this time. Having people have taught something, you said, oh, they've been saying that all this time. They've been teaching that all this time. When they said wars against war, oh, we've been having wars all the time. But he's saying to you, the knowledge that's going to be increased, it's going to increase through spirit. Okay? So he's letting you know that when you get on these devil platforms, you want and you desire to know things in spirit. more so in flesh. You see, because flesh is not going to teach you, okay, knowledge, as he said, shall increase in the end days. That's that increase is letting you know you will have spiritual knowledge. It's not natural knowledge where you can get this book and read, oh, I got it now, I know what it means. Or you go around start teaching and preaching like a lot of these women on this devil platform. There are many women that's on this devil platform that has been teaching for quite some time. I'm going to tell you something. This came to me yesterday. I truly feel that those type of women that have husbands, their husband needs to stop them. I'm going to be honest with you. And reason why the husband can't stop them is because they're out of control. The husband can't stop them. They're out of control. That's why they get on this devil platform talking all this stuff about any and everything. Because they're out of control. And the husband is so weak. They don't know how to say, well, baby, you know, shouldn't we be talking about things as spirit and truth? Shouldn't we be talking about what? The Most High, and giving him glory and giving him honor and teaching people how to find the light, or teaching people what the light consists of, teaching people how to turn their spirit into the full control of their flesh, you know, things like that. But no, you over there up in the synagogue of Satan. You see, look at all these wars. No, it ain't wars. It's what you call nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom on this land. Nobody's talking about it. Why? Because they're all up in synagogue of Satan. Because they rather go about the synagogue of Satan so they get licensed subscribers than to get their butts back over in the land in which you are cursed and do the will of the Father. They don't want that. And that's why he told me last night, they ain't going. I said, well, so much for that. Okay? So, what was I saying? So he's saying the knowledge shall increase is spiritual knowledge. That's what's going to take you out of here. Spiritual knowledge. Okay? Now, he said that there is a knowledge that's present. He said the knowledge that is present in the flesh is false Christ, false teachers, and false prophets. They're bringing you false knowledge. So he said there's two knowledge. One that I said that shall increase. That one is spiritual, Deborah. They're gonna get information that's spiritual that they never knew, because it's under the spiritual umbrella, and that's the sort. You have an umbrella and it's got all these little things coming from underneath it, the hooks. That's what the umbrella can be, the one to keep you out of the range, but he's saying the spiritual knowledge is each hook giving you something else to make sure rain don't get on your shoulders, on your arm. So it's a spiritual knowledge that's going to be increased in the end days. So look for that, you guys. Look for spirit. When you get on these pages and listen to these people, look for the spiritual knowledge and information, spiritual wisdom, spiritual understanding. Don't look for all this jibber jabber talking about the synagogue of Satan. They're already in hell already in my eyes. So why I'm using them on my page? I'd rather tell you something about my Most High y'all. Okay? So he's saying that there is knowledge, Deborah, increase in this day and time. And I asked him, I said, well, what knowledge is that? He said, just as there's spiritual knowledge, there is fleshly knowledge. That's how you got the broad gate, baby. That's why they leading them the way to the broad gate. It's with fleshly knowledge, and they turning up as sheep, but they in wolf clothing. They are as saying that false Christs and false teaching and false prophets, that's them. They pulling up with their knowledge and deceiving many through the broad gate. Okay, and then he wants me to say this. There is wickedness and righteousness. Wickedness and sinful is the opposite of righteous. There go the two. One is wickedness and sinfulness, and the other one is righteous. Righteous stand alone. I tell anybody that. It don't need Sister Deborah to help it. It don't need nobody on the left. It don't need nobody on the right. It don't need nobody in back of it. And guess what? It's running it all by itself. Righteous gonna stand when every nasty thing come up against it. Righteous gonna stand. Righteous don't need nobody to agree with it. Righteous don't need nobody to support it. Righteous don't need you to justify, clarify, and identify. Righteous stand alone. It is righteous. It stands all by itself. No matter what situation, it stands up. I'm righteous. What you got to say about that? You better watch yourself. I'm righteous. Righteous stand alone. It don't need you. It know how to stand by itself. So the opposite, when you're breaking it down in twos, it's wickedness and sinfulness against righteous. Praise the mighty God. And will you all know that righteous wins all the time? Praise. Okay, so he wanted me to say that. And then he went on to telling me about mercy and grace, heartless and stiffness. Heartless and stiffness. I said, well, Father, that's what the world is that's how it is down here on the earth now. Wait a minute, hold on, Father, y'all. He said, pull up them twos, though, Deborah. Grace and mercy, heartlessness and stiffness. There go the two. I'm pouring out mercy and grace. They got their butt down there, heartless and stiffness. So they heartless. And I'm just pouring out all this grace and mercy. That's the two. So don't estimate that his grace and mercy ain't still being poured out today. It'll be poured out tomorrow and the next day and the next day. His mercy ain't going nowhere. That's the only reason why the earth is still existing today, because of his mercy and grace. Stand down. Heartlessness and stiffness. You can't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. Okay? Mercy and grace is still poured out, even on your butt. Even on your butt, it's still poured out. Praise the mighty Yah. He said his grace and mercy is still being poured out. Because he said, Deborah, guess what? If it wasn't, it'd be the end already. Which is so true. If you really think, if you really know it, it will be. Okay? And he wants the last one I have on here. And it's called 2. Eternal. Who know the last 2? Eternal. Who know the last 2? Eternal. Let's see if anybody get that. Who know the last 2? The last 2. Yeah, grace and mercy. Ain't that something? Isn't that something that he poured out grace and mercy on? That's what he was saying. He was saying that even though heartless and stiffness is present, because I was like, well, Father, that's real deep today. That's like 99.9. He said, yeah, but my grace and mercy is still being poured out. That means in spite of whatever, his grace and mercy is still being poured out upon the people. But the last 2, come on, somebody, who knows the last 2? Somebody got to get it. Come on, I'm gonna wait here. The last 2, I'll probably be the only one left tonight. I'm gonna wait here till somebody get it. The last 2 in twos. Anybody know? If you don't, it's okay. Just shoot your best shot. The last 2. You're almost there. You're almost there. It's called something else. You're there, but it's called something else. What is it? The last 2. What is it called? Anybody in the live chat, if you happen to have any questions, please put them forth. I wanted to say something to you all. The Father wants me to say, he's speaking to that one. When he speaks to that one, it could be a million to him. I can't really say who he's speaking to. When he's speaking, he's speaking. The last one. Come on. But he wants you to know that you can take this here and even listen to this video again and understand that all this extra stuff you're doing to think that you're going to work yourself into the kingdom, or you're going to work yourself into a way of life that's going to be pleasing to him. He wants you to know this message that was taught come from out of his heart. Okay. So he wants you to understand strictly out of his bosom. He wants it's a message to try to get individual to understand all this overworking you hearing and you thinking it's going to take. It's not going to take all that. All of it is vain and vast. All of this over teaching and getting people. And like I heard a prophet earlier today say, she said, a lot of the teaching is to build into a worldly fear. And I said, wow, that's deep, because it is. It's a worldly fear. So will we be so caught up in the world way of doing things and saying things so we are fearful when about the wars and this and bringing it to a form of natural fear is what she's saying. Now, y'all already given us the spirit of fear, which that's within us. That's one of the gifts that he gives those that are his. But she said that when she said that, I was like, wow, that is so 100. I said that. I said, ooh, that is so 100. Because somewhere along that individual, she's a prophetess. She was listening to what been said. And I agree with that, because it's not nothing to turn the people's faces. There you go. You got it now. There you go. The lake of hell and heaven. That's the end game, ain't it? Come on now. Isn't that the end game? The last two. You see it's two. You see it's two. And when they get before the throne, they're going to come out of two sets. The book of life, which is going to be one, and the books. But you hit it. That's it. That's the answer. Eternal life, or the hell, or the it's called the lake of fire. Hell is really just a grave. It's the grave where we are buried in. The lake of fire and heavens. But you got it right. You got it right. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. That's the last two. You see, even that been split up in twos. So why are we living a life the way everybody said we should live it, to make us feel we got to work for where our eternal destiny is at? Let me just say it like that. The Father wants you to know, don't let nobody tell you you're going to heaven or hell. And if you got to dress this way, talk this way, act this way, worship all their feast days, because he said, if only you know the hearts of who you're dealing with, and you don't. Unless you got the gift, he giving you the gift, which he has given a lot of people. But a lot of people with the gift, they don't even use their gift because they're afraid that their gift is not good enough, or their gift is not worldly. It's their gift is not worth trying to challenge people that's teaching them worldly situations. Yes, it is. Your gift is there to shoot them down. Just like they shooting there, trying to shoot the righteous down, it's there to shoot the wicked down. That's what your gifts are there for. And don't be afraid anywhere you're at, in your community, in your neighborhood, on your job, in the workplace. Never be ashamed of the Most High Yah righteous way of doing things, and letting these people continue to teach, preach, and live it out as if he has to bow down to their worldly mindset. No. That's why I salute that curse. I know what he was doing. I know why he was doing. I even know that what he did is the only choice he could have had for us outside of every last one of the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. So you got blessed in a blessing when he brought your tail over here. All he was doing was giving us a taste of how our ugliness. And guess what? 400 plus years and we still ain't gripped it. Still ain't gripped it. That's why we still here. It's because we're still acting like he owed us something. What do you think we're acting like he owed us? A promised land. We're running around here. He owed us something because he told Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, he owed us the land. Baby, he gave you the land. Go back to Joshua. Joshua will tell you, he brought your tail there. It's what you did on it. It caused you to lose it. Now, the promised land, I was reading it today, y'all. I was reading that bad boy. You know what? Let me show y'all something before I get off here. I was reading this here and I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't mean, y'all. Isaiah chapter 4. Isaiah chapter 4. I was reading this here today and I was saying, oh, the women don't even know their father. They don't even know it. They don't know nothing about it. Okay, in Isaiah chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. In Isaiah chapter 4, verse 3 and 4. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy. So you see that name they call holy? You all, do you see that name that's called holy? He's letting you know those that's going to be left alive. Let's bump it up. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25. In Isaiah chapter 3, verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. That means, Deborah, your husbands, your sons, your grandsons, your father, your brother, your grandfather, they're going to die. Okay, this is what he's saying. And those who think they mighty, they can fight, they got guns. He said they're going to die in the war. So he's letting you know the war is going to be within. And they're going to die in that war. Remember, he said it's not about wars and rumors of wars. You remember in Matthew's, he said in Matthew's chapter 24, verse 6, and he telling us not to get caught up in wars and rumors of wars, because that's not it. Why? Because he knows that the world uses wars very evil. Even today, they use it to put fear in us, to get us in control, to get us focused on what they're doing. That's why I say, anybody on these devil platforms keep talking about the war over there, they are of the devil themselves. Let me say that again. They are of the devil themselves. They're looking for subscribers and likes, y'all. That's all they're looking for. Okay? Because honestly, wars in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6 said, no, it's not about wars and rumors of wars, y'all. So he said, do not be worried about that. Don't get caught up in that, y'all. And then he always, when he said verse 6 and verse 7 says, but nation against nations, kingdom against kingdom. He's letting you know within where you at, there's going to be a war. Wars. But it's going to be a war where nation against nation, KKK against maybe even the skinheads, against Hebrew Israelites. You see what I'm saying? Do you see the Palestinians and the fake Jews over here in the United States? Y'all didn't hear about the ones forming up in all over the United States, fighting each other. Y'all didn't hear about that. See, that's what I'm saying. They don't want to cover what's going on and fallen prophecy, because that follows Matthew 24, verse 6 and 7. He telling us don't get caught up in their wars, y'all. Bring that thing down. It's going to be a war within. Now listen to this. Listen to Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 25. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the what? W-A-R. War. Because kingdom against kingdom bring on a war. Not wars. Because wars is those like Russia and China, United States, and this and that. He's talking, don't get caught up in that, because that's not it. Learn to understand the war within the country. Palestinians right now are actually killing Israel. Fake Jews. Fake Jews are actually killing Palestinians. White people here in the United States are actually taking out Palestinians here in the United States. There's a war within here, and we clowning about what's over there in the synagogue of Satan. You would have to be gone here to be doing that. Now listen to this. And then it says, and her gates shall lament, and moan, and she being desolated shall set upon the ground. You know why that woman sitting down? Because he didn't just let you see. I took your husband, your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your sons. I took them out. How you like me now? See, don't play with me. You think everybody in the spirit? Don't you think that? I took their tails out like I did before. Now listen to what he said. Then he dropped you into Isaiah chapter 4. And in that day, praise the mighty Yahweh. Here he comes, finna pull up, y'all. And in that day, 7 women shall take a hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own pearls. Only let us be called by what? Thy name. Now, drop down to verse 3. And it shall come to pass that he that is left, he in Zion, and he that is remained in Jerusalem shall be called holy. The women said, we want to be called holy. We want to be called by that name, holy. They're not talking about a husband as to or take his last name. They talking about y'all is already letting you know the men that survive, they're going to be called holy. He taking them over to Jerusalem. And he said that among the living in Jerusalem. And I like another, and one that is everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. Written. You see, he's letting you know, written. Heaven's already got it wrote up and got it wrote out. You see, who gonna survive this? Now watch this here. In verse 4, it says, listen to this, women, listen to this. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and the spirit of burning. Verse 5, and the Lord would create upon every dwelling place on Mount Zion and upon her assembly a cloud and smoke by day, and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon glory shall be a defense. So women, he's gonna been and cleanse you, purge you, wash you up, and did everything by how he's gonna get you. It's in the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment. He's gonna judge you. He's gonna correct you. He's gonna cause the burning of the center of your head. You see, and this is his way of cleansing you. And after that, you are holy. Praise the mighty Yah. Don't mess with my Father and not tell me who he is. He's telling you he's going to cleanse us. Just as the men, he's killing them. But woman, I'm going to use the judgment of burning. Meaning, listen to what he says. Let me see in verse 4. The spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And as you go over in Isaiah verses 3, you'll see up in the top of 24, he said here, and sackcloth, the burning instead of beauty. That scab in your head gonna be burning. So he's doing this here. The Father is doing this here. But it ain't like he's going to destroy you like he said he's going to do in 25. Thy men shall fall by the swords, and thy mighty men in the war. The good thing is about it, we know that there are going to be men that's going to come out of this, that's going to be over in Jerusalem. He's taking over in Jerusalem, Mount Zion. He's taking over Mount Zion over in Jerusalem. We do know that he is taking them over, but they are going to be called holy. And the reason why the women wants to be called by holy is because they are husbands and uncles and all them killed, y'all, in the war within this country. These are things you're going to see. See, we're not going to escape things. That's why he just had his angels to seal us. But it ain't like we ain't going to see these things come. These things we're going to see. But because they're not willing to teach this thing right, they rather teach it as a lie than to teach it as the truth. You see what I'm saying? So they want to teach you in the flesh, but don't want to teach you in the spirit. There go the two. Now he's sitting here telling you how he's going to throw down. And all it's about, y'all, guess what it's all about? Purging the daughters of Zion, cleaning us up, and the spirit of burning. Guess what that's all about? Just to bring us up to once we get over to the promised land. That's what that's all about, y'all. Why? Because it's a holy, y'all. It's not like you think it is. Satan not allowed. Wicked and evil not allowed. Nobody gonna be coming over there bothering you. It's no more. It's no more none of that type of stuff. But yet you're gonna be living. You see, you're gonna have fighting and arguing and none of that stuff going to be going on. Satan gonna be locked in for 1,000 years. Only way Satan, and you know what? All my life I used to think, oh, That seems so unfair, Father. I said, Father, that seems so unfair to release him after 1,000 years, after nobody had anything. Everything was just so good and peaceful with you, Father. Oh, you're going to release him. Find out that he only coming out for one thing. And that's why I was trying to tell y'all all this stuff about these wars and rumors of wars and trying to make something bigger than what it is not. He already done told you, Magog. And Magog is going to be the one that has all of them joining them. They think they going to come to the war. Satan going to deceive them. The Father going to tell the angel, go down there and open up the bottomless pit. Let Satan out. Satan get out. He go before y'all. Y'all say, okay, I need you to go to them and convince them to come on the fighting ground. Bring them all to the battlefield. Oh, Father, yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Satan coming up out of the dungeon after 1,000 years just to do the will of the Father, to convince Magog, China, and all of them to come on. Tell them to come to the battlefield. Praise somebody, y'all. They ain't gonna have no time, y'all. They gonna be getting ready like they gonna defeat something. They gonna all pull up. They gonna all pull up like they gonna really be doing something. Y'all gonna say, BAM! And it's over. That's how simple, you guys, it's gonna be. So we clowning down here. Yes, there are other things that's taking place, like the river drying up and what he's saying coming up. I think we're looking for a battle. We're looking for something. And honestly, y'all, as a prophetess in the wilderness, I don't think it's going to be like we are, let me stop saying we. People are plotting it's going to be. Because y'all ain't here to feed the world. He ain't here to play with them. He ain't here to play patty cake, bake a man with them. He ain't here to play with people. And everybody want to take this drying up, the river drying up and this, and he's going to bring these beasts up. And look, the way I'm looking at things, just like the pandemic, the way they pulled in with that steam, to me, that's one of the plagues that took place in Revelation. Y'all allowed it, and it was called one thing, but it came in the natural. And everybody was looking in the spirit way it was spoken. They was looking the way it was spoken, but it came in like the Father wanted it to come in, and you're looking for it to come in this way. You're like, say, for instance, the horses. You see how the horses pulled up. You okay? The horses, the 4 horses, they all come to do the same thing. And what was that to do? To kill. To steal, not to steal, to kill and destroy. And I believe in the year of 2000, starting in 2019, all the way up until now, it's doing that. Because guess what I found out, y'all? And I think this is so sad. A scientist and a couple of, it's more than a couple, about 6 or 7 other doctors. They kind of mad. It's happening in Australia and in Canada. It's happening here in the United States. But United States has wronged the people here for so long. We think they have wronged us. They have wronged us big time. But they have wronged their own just as much. Y'all just don't know it. I heard a couple of Gentiles be talking about, yeah, they trying to make us be into slavery. I said to myself, if y'all really knew how they was using your social security number and stealing from you to other, selling you off to other countries and all this other stuff, baby, they've been doing this. You all think this is what, let me say this here, and I know I might get in trouble. You all think because the Father talk about Babylon and how he's going to bring them down, and none of you really get into it and read Revelation 18 and see how he's bringing it down. Once you look at it, you'll say, well, wait a minute. Out of all these countries on this land, why this country? Why this country? First thing the Hebrew Israelites say, because they brought us into slavery. You's a fool, you're going to be a fool. They want to rest everything always on the house of Israel. But baby, let me tell you something. They were doing it. Did y'all know before we all came over as slaves, did you know white poor people were slaves? Y'all didn't know that. That's why I say the same thing about Christians. A lot of people talk about Christians, and I think the Roman Catholic used the Christians all these years, and the Christians supported the Roman Catholic to support the fake Jew over there, all of them in it together. But there are some that are Christians that believe in the Messiah. When you do your search, you'll see how they were killed, just like the apostles were killed. Identical, upside down, cut guts out, burn babies up, cut legs off, cut breasts off, cut private area. I mean it, y'all. And I think it's connected to Revelation, the 7 churches, because they were tormented. They were tormented then. So I think that's what the 7 churches is representing. See, the church is not a place nor a building. The church is those that are under Christ, which is Hamashiach. This is the church in the spirit. It's not the flesh. It is the spirit. So when we're running around trying to nail Christian this and Christians that, and we this and we that, it's two. We got to understand it. Everything is locked in two. We have, listen to this, we have the body of Christ, which is Hamashiach. It's called the body and the saints. So if you go out right now to a Sunday and you go to church, you go to a building, and they said that they are the church and they are the body of Christ. You see the two? One is in the spirit and one the natural, in the flesh. Who's getting away with more? The flesh. By out of 100%, 99.9. The church has formed itself in the building and its saints. And the pastor, the apostles, the leaders, and the preachers are the head. Then you come over here understanding the body of Hamashiach, which is Christ. And you know who Christ is, so you sit your tail right underneath him. The body of Christ. That's what he be talking about, the church and the saints. So when he go into Revelation talking about the seven churches, you got to understand they fall under the body of Hamashiach, not a book, nor a building. You see what I'm saying? It's not that, y'all. The church in which Revelation is speaking of is under Christ, Hamashiach. They are the church here in the body. They are the saints in the church. And that's who he's speaking to. He's not speaking to a building over in Turkey or in Asia. He's not speaking to a group of people. He's speaking to those he knows spiritually under Hamashiach. And they are, I believe, the so-called Christians that always have been connected in some way or another. That's who I think they are. We are Israel. Okay? We've been the monkeys all these beginning, acting a monkey. Let's say that. We've been acting a monkey since the beginning of time. And the Father took me back to Exodus, and I said, Father, we wasn't doing that, were we? We doing no. Some of this stuff can make you cry the way they do him. So he told me that one day I need to get in there and read about for his name's sake and for his sake. Because he said I'm going to learn a lot that I never knew. Because I really want to know what do you mean when you say for your name's sake? For your sake. He was just wanting me to know that there's a lot of things the house of Israel and tribe of Judah have done to me. And because of my name's sake. And because of my sake. A lot of it is scriptures in there saying for his name's sake and for his sake. I know one time, it's twice where it says, and I had pity on my name. This is the Father in heaven. I'm like, what was going on? So he wants me to take on that task of understanding for his name's sake. I really want to look into that. Matter of fact, that might be my treat this weekend. I think that will be, because that's something I know he keeps saying to me, just get in there and look in there. And it make you see these people been doing what they doing all the time. They've been like this. So it's nothing no one can really say, but don't forget, I'm coming for what is mine. And if they are of mine, why am I looking for flesh? I'm looking for spirit. That's it. Are they gonna be in the flesh form? Yeah. Because I'm taking them to a holy land. When they get over there, guess what, Deborah? I'm gonna put my spirit in them. Ooh-wee. I'm gonna give them a new heart. A long time. So Sister Deborah, old heart ain't gonna be worth a dime, but it ain't gonna be worth it anyway, because he said he gonna give me a new heart. Ooh, y'all know what a new heart is like? Coming from the Most High, y'all. Oh man, we're gonna be over there a long time. So this is the promise. And this was to the spirit. Because when Abraham was in that vision, he was talking to him about the stars in the sky. And if you can number them, number them. But I doubt it. And then he went straight into that same chapter, and he went into a darkness, a horror of darkness, into a dream. So he was out of a vision, and now he in a dream. And I think the dream covered the house of Israel and the promised land of the land. And I think the spiritual vision covered eternal Israel, the spiritual Israel. Because that's what he was telling Abraham. You already counted in. I got you already wrote in. You counted in. In a sense, it ain't nothing you can do. I already got you in, bro. So Sister Deborah says that if you all have any questions, please bring forth. If you have any question, we got about, let's give 5 minutes to any question anybody have about the topic or anything else that you might want to ask a question. And don't be afraid to ask questions, you guys. But again, take out time to understand that. Oh, you know what else he said to me? I was reading it in there. He was saying, I think it was in Isaiah. I think it's in Isaiah. He said, yeah. And it's going to be those who can't see, but they have eyes to see. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I remember reading that about 3 years ago. He said, yeah, I'm going to tell him, come on here. Come on. Come on. You got eyes to see in the natural, but you're blind in the spirit. Come on in this lane. And I like that, because that's showing me that he got a humor in the spirit realm, that he's saying that, Deborah, there's going to be some that ain't going to know nothing about me. Ain't going to even know who my name. Ain't going to know nothing. But I'm going to tell them, come on here, get on this line. Why? Because heaven's already got you wrote in and out in this lane. So what? You can see in the natural, but you blind in the spirit. Get in this lane. He said, so what? You can hear in the natural, but you are deaf in the spirit. Get in this lane. I like that, because that shows me that in spite of those that he has called as servants, he has lined them up as well as his servant. They just never found their way, to see or to hear. But they are not out here killing, murdering, hating, whoring, and all these other things. Oh no, they're not gonna be out there doing that. He just said that they ain't gonna come to the truth while they here. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's real. That's going back to the tools, though. It's gonna be one that can see in the spirit and one that can't. Come on here. One that can hear in the spirit and one can't. Come on here. Get in the slide. And the way he said, I thought that was so cute, because it showed a lot of humor that the Father actually can have when he said it. So it's going back to also said to you again, you can't trust in the messages that people are spilling out. Trust in the Most High Yah, and lead not to your own understanding nor somebody else's understanding, but just take it as he have said it through the Spirit. Do he teach you? Do he abide in you? He said, I want to come and abide in you while you abide in me, and we become one. Have a relationship where you can feel him in you. And you don't ever be afraid to accept the curse and everything. When you start accepting, you start to see how he rumble. Wait a minute, I see you over there. I see, oh yeah, you did this before. I see how you rumble. Because what happens is, the reason why that is so many people that don't accept the end game is because they won't accept him, period. You see, these are not the people he talking about. You blind, but you can't. You can see, but you blind in the spirit. Come on here. Those are not those. These people are people that already is written in him already. That they never found their way. You see what I'm saying? But it ain't gonna stop him from telling them, y'all, come on, get in this line. I got to take y'all all over to the spiritual promised land. And the reason why Sister Deborah wanted to let y'all know that this is the spiritual promised land, because the way it's going to set it up. Let me show you something in Ezekiel 36. It's kind of, and it's not only in Ezekiel, it's telling you how beautiful he's going to set this place up. Now listen to it in Ezekiel 36 and let me see if okay, let me read it. Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 33. Thus said Ahiah, in the day that I shall have cleansed you from all your iniquity, I will also cause you to dwell in the cities, and the waste shall be built. See, he's going to have all that built before we get there. Now watch this here. Verse 34. And the desolated land shall be tilled. It's going to already be tilled. Okay? Whereas it lay desolate in the sight of all that passed by. And this is where another word people keep on talking about. That's our land over there. Shut your ugly mouth and get the land that the Father has promised for you. It is a spiritual land. It is holy. Why are we caring about what the synagogue of Satan is doing over there? We want to care about where we are headed and how we can pack up and get ready to just from the inside and be ready for the Father. Not all this crap about what they're doing. Now watch this here. Listen to this. And verse 35 said, and they shall say, the land that was desolated is become like the Garden of Eden. And the waste and desolated and ruined cities are become fenced and are inhabited. They're going to be looking over to where we are at and saying, wait a minute. He didn't make that place like the Garden of Eden. Y'all, do y'all know that was supposed to be said the one of the most beautiful place that he had created? Yes. And that's what he's going to do. So you're going to tell me that place ain't going to be holy? He said it is. So I'm just showing you, this is where he's taking us. Why are we giving him glory as if we there already? Somebody say something about that. How is it we ain't giving him glory as if we already made it? How is it we ain't giving him honor and praise for giving us a new heart, cleaning the iniquity out of us? Why are we giving him glory and praise for all that? Now, that's why our butt's still where we at. We still where we at because we so busy over there in the other land talking about they in our land and took our identity. Ain't nobody take your nothing. You took your own identity and act a fool and wanted to act like wild monkeys. How about that? So I think that we, even to today, this here is beautiful. Because if it's going to, don't forget, that was the beginning when he created it. They're going to be saying it. And may God and them going to be like, wait a minute, what them people doing up in there? They going to come after him. And he's going to kill the majority of them, not all of them. He's going to leave some to go back and tell them, you better watch yourself. They're going to take off. And that's when Israel is going to go down. Our men, the men of war, the dry bones, they are the men of war that he's going to have. They're going to be collecting and cleaning the battlefield because they all going to die. Now, that's not the final. The final ain't going to even be a fight. So I think that we need to stop lying on my Father. Who's going to fight up against the Most High Yah? How are you going to fight up against the right hand of the Creator? Because you don't know the right hand. You don't know the stretched out arm. You don't know the power that's in him. It's said. Satan will tell you about it. If you need to, ask him. I'm just coming from hell after being locked down for 1,000 years. I'm just coming to deceive them so they can go to the battlefield so he can say, bam, that's it. He ain't gonna be out there trying to fight. Who gonna fight the right hand of the Creator. Who gonna battle with the right hand of the Father? That's how people don't know him. And I hate that too. I hate that with a passion. That you don't know him enough to know that you can't fight up against the right hand of the Father. You done lost your cocky picking mind. So stop lying like they gonna be on a battlefield and they gonna go up against, they ain't got the sense. Why do you think Satan got to come out of the pit of hell where he's chained and muzzled down? He got to come up after 1,000 years just to go over there to get them to be deceived to come to the battlefield. If they all that tough and got technology and they so powerful, why do Satan have to come out of the bottomless pit and go over there to deceive them to come to the battlefield so y'all can destroy them all at once? That's the Creator we serve. He ain't got time to play with them, and he ain't gonna be on there playing with them. He gonna do one number, and they all go back and read your word, child. Read Revelation. It tells you he ain't coming up with no field to play with, child. He just getting Satan out to deceive your stupid tail to come to the battlefield. And when Satan do what y'all told him to do to go to deceive him, he goes right back to the lake of hell. That's it for him. He only coming out just for that day to convince them to come to the battlefield. That's it. He's not going to even fight with them. That's it. All this monkey mess these people teaching y'all, tell them to stand down. Nobody can fight against your Father who got all power in that right hand. They ain't going to stand a chance. He just going to puff them out. Go and read it. You ain't going to hear him fight no battle. It ain't even be no war. That's the world making it a war. Ain't no war against my Most High, y'all. When all he has to do is blink his eye and every last one of us out, why is he going to be warring against somebody? No, he's going to destroy them right there on the battlefield, right near Jerusalem in the promised land. But this is a spiritual promised land. This promised land is not like the promised land he gave the tribe of Judah and the house of Israel. This in here is holy. And ain't nobody coming up on it. You better not even look like you want to come up on it. Only thing you better do is have a heart to want to come up and worship him like we do. That's it. Otherwise, sit your tails down. Because ain't no other way. So all this stuff that they teaching y'all, they going to be doing this. They going to come up there and do this. Ain't nobody going to do nothing. Y'all don't even understand that this is the promise of that which is holy. And after that, that's it. Yeshua gonna come and get what's his, goats and sheep, whether you his or not, because he got to separate them. And that's it. And then that's what's going to be brought into the new heavens, the new Jerusalem. Then going to come down after all that's taken care of. Then the new Jerusalem gonna come down. Old heaven gonna be and old earth gonna be done away with. So even we being in the promised land, we're going to be changed. We're going to be caught up. Because it's time for us to be judged. Everybody to be judged. Yeshua is going to come and get everybody and bring them before the throne of the Most High Yah. But he's going to separate everybody. This one to the lake on the left and this one here to the right, which was promised before the foundation of the world. So a lot of stuff, they just clowning. Ain't got nothing better to do. So don't just get caught up in it. So I hope that this here, no one had any questions, I guess not. I hope that this helped someone out there to understand. Don't put all this natural fleshly work into trying to serve a spiritual God. How about that? Don't put all this fleshly energy and work into trying to serve a spiritual Yah. How about that? Shalom and shalom.